Good day, Royal Watchers, and welcome back to Danish News Daily. Today, we're talking about Queen Mary's 54th birthday, and let me tell you, the timing could not be more awkward. But before we dive into this absolute mess, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next in this royal saga. So, here we are, February 5th, 2026, and Australia's gift to Denmark is turning 54. Now, you would think a queen's birthday would be all champagne, cake, and perhaps a lovely family portrait where everyone pretends to get along. But this is the Danish royal family we're talking about, and subtle tension is basically their love language at this point. The question everyone's asking is pretty simple. Where exactly is King Frederik during all of this? Because if there's one thing we've learned about this couple, it's that their public appearances together have become about as rare as a polite comment section on the internet. Let's rewind for just a moment, shall we? Cast your mind back to late 2023, when Frederik was photographed in Madrid with Mexican socialite Genoveva Casanova. The photos showed them leaving a restaurant separately, disappearing into an apartment building, and the Danish press absolutely lost their minds. Now, the palace denied everything faster than you can say crisis management, but the damage was done. Mary looked positively glacial in every photo after that, and honestly, who could blame her? The woman flew halfway across the world from Tasmania to marry a prince, learned Danish, raised 4 children, and then had to deal with that particular headline. If looks could freeze, Frederik would have been an ice sculpture. Fast forward to today, and Mary's birthday lands right in the middle of what can only be described as Denmark's ongoing royal identity crisis. See, Frederik and Mary took over from the beloved Queen Margrethe just over a year ago, and the Danish people have been less than thrilled about it. Margrethe was Denmark's grandmother for 52 years. She smoked cigarettes, designed theatrical costumes, and basically did whatever she wanted whilst remaining wildly popular. Frederik and Mary? They're getting the kind of approval ratings that make politicians nervous. Recent polls show they're struggling to connect with everyday Danes, and that Madrid scandal certainly didn't help matters. But here's where it gets interesting. Mary has actually been working harder than a student the night before exams are due. She's championing causes, opening hospitals, supporting domestic violence initiatives, and generally trying to prove she deserves that crown. In fact, there's literally a hospital named after her now. The Mary Elizabeth's Hospital for Children opened recently, and it's a genuine achievement. Yet somehow she still can't shake the shadow of that Madrid night, or the fact that many Danes still see her as the Australian outsider rather than their queen. Now let's talk about this birthday specifically. The palace released an official portrait last year for her 53rd, and eagle-eyed royal watchers noticed something fascinating. Mary chose to wear her personal jewelry instead of the Danish crown jewels. Now that might seem trivial, but in royal circles, that's the equivalent of showing up to a wedding in jeans. It was a statement, whether intentional or not. This year, we're all watching to see what message she sends with her birthday celebrations. And speaking of messages, Frederik's presence or absence today speaks volumes. Are they doing a united front, a loving couple photograph, or are we getting separate schedules and carefully worded press releases? Because nothing says happily married quite like avoiding your spouse on their birthday, right? The real tragedy here is that Mary has actually done everything right. She learned the language, she committed to the role, she raised her children in the public eye with grace, and she's worked tirelessly for Danish causes. But reputation is a funny thing. One scandal, one photograph, one awkward moment, and suddenly you're fighting an uphill battle for public approval. So, happy birthday, Queen Mary, 54 years old.